All right. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification button so that way you can stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesdays content. As of the recording of this video, we are ending the year of 2022. And I must say, it's been very interesting to say the least. I would like to welcome you to my Teachable Tuesdays yearly recap, where in 2022, I talked to you about some of the things that I did, some of my pros of this year, some of my cons of this year, things that I learned, things that I feel like I could do better, and just my overall journey. Like I said, again, this has been a very interesting year to say the least. Definitely wasn't as crazy of a year like last year, but it did have its twists and turns. The one thing that I've learned to stop doing is, saying that this year was horrible, this year was great, this year was amazing. And the reason why I do that, I'll say, the year was amazing, but I stopped trying to be so negative about the year, even if there were bad things that happened, just for the simple fact that, yes, even though there were bad things that happened, I made it to another year, and that's something within itself, where there are so many people that did not. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful to that. So this is going to be part one. I'm going to be talking about certain things that happened with me between the months of January and June. Part two will be posted tomorrow as of the recording of this video. It is December 29th, so part two will be posted on December 30th. And I'll be talking about the months of July through this month, December. So this video is going to be a little bit lengthier compared to my other videos. So if you want, make sure you save to watch later or something like that if you can't finish it in one setting. Maybe you might want to listen to this while you're driving somewhere. Or, if you're cleaning up or something, because if you're like me, I can't really necessarily sit still for like 30, 45 minutes watching something all the time. I got to take breaks and whatever. But anyways, without further ado, so 2022. Let's start off at the beginning of the year as far as things that took place and how my year started off. So my year started off with me actually getting COVID. What a way to start off 2022. Like, it was crazy. I came back from Baltimore to visit my family around this time last year. Had New Year's Eve. Everything was good. I went skating. January 1st hit. I started 75 hard again, which for those of you who don't know what 75 hard is, look at some of my other videos. I kind of go into more detail as far as the Live Hard program and what that's like. But, seemed like everything was good. First 2 days, I think January 3rd, I started experiencing flu-like symptoms. And I'm just thinking to myself, my brother was sick. He didn't have COVID, but he was sick before I left. So I'm thinking to myself, that little jit always get me sick. So maybe I caught something from that guy. Come to find out, I had COVID. How did I know? I was experiencing flu-like symptoms on January 3rd. I happened to not have to go to work that day. I said, you know what? I'm going to go get a COVID test. But, COVID cases were surging around that time. So I had to go to urgent care here in Orlando to, and I literally had to wait at the door because they were only letting in 20 people a day for, rapid COVID tests. Got a rapid test done. Came back that I was positive for COVID. I was like, God darn it. So went home, sent my information to my boss. Luckily enough, we get a certain amount of COVID days off if we catch it. And I just rested. My symptoms weren't horrible. It was really flu-like symptoms, chills. I didn't have an appetite for about 3 days. But I'll tell you something, when I gained that appetite back, I gained it back quick. You know what I'm saying? I felt better in about 4 days. And when I took the test again before I went back to work, it came back negative. That's really the only reason I returned to work. I wasn't finna go to work being positive, knowing I work with kids and I don't want to get them sick. You know what I'm saying? But that was an interesting way to start 2022 off. And I jumped right back into 75 hard right afterwards. Of course, I had failed because I got sick, but I tried it again. And this time I was successful in completing it, but I'll get to that a little later. We had quite a bit of performances this year. It's the Innovators Music Group, which, by the way, if you haven't already done so, please follow us on YouTube or subscribe to our channel, Soul Solid Force. I'll post a link below. But we've had a lot of performances this year alone. The first one was in January at this place called Grumpy's Underground. So shout out to Grumpy's Underground. A very, very small venue on Winter Park. If you live in Orlando or you've lived in Orlando, you know exactly where Winter Park is. And it was nice. Nice, intimate setting. Had a very good crowd. It was just our way of getting back to performing again. We wanted to perform on a regular basis. We pretty much have a connection with Grumpy's Underground and the owner. She's really, really dope. Shout out to her, by the way. And we just performed there several times this year. And that was our first performance. We had a lot of awesome performances. And it was just amazing. It was just amazing. Let's see what else happened in January. So, of course, going through 75 Hard, going through performances. I don't think we had any performances in February that I can remember. I think we had another performance in January, too, if I'm not mistaken. I believe we had a performance somewhere in Fort Lauderdale. It was like a hip-hop. No, I'm tripping. You know what? That was 2021. I'm getting my performances mixed up. We had so many performances this year. Sometimes you just get stuff mixed up. But let's see what else happened. Oh, so around that time in January, me and my friend Ange, we started planning our trip together. Ange, for those who don't know, I think I've mentioned her in a video or two before, but she is this dope, amazing woman that lives in California, San Diego, and we met on Instagram. And the first time that I met her in person was when I went to California with one of my childhood best friends the summer of last year. You know what I'm saying? And we went and we actually had a chance to meet up in person. We met in person in Venice Beach, and it was almost like we just clicked. I said this in my recap of last year. And I was supposed to go out and visit her. Like, we had a trip planned actually for March of 2021. No, March 2021? Yeah, March of 2021, but it didn't work out that way because I just didn't have the funds at the time. So we probably was like, hey, we're going to plan our vacation. Her staycation, my vacation. So we planned that out, got that in the works. I'll talk more about that in part 2 as far as what happened with that. But we finally got the planning for that. What else happened? Let's see. I went skating a lot more over, early in the year, trying to progress myself as a roller skater. Which one of these days I'm going to post some clips of my roller skating journey and what that's like and, what roller skating really means to me. Because for those who know me personally, I love roller skating. If you didn't know, you know now. We had this event called the Skate World Series, actually. There we go. That happened in April. Now, I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but I completed 75 hard in March. I started off at 221 pounds. I think by the time I was done with 75 hard, I was down to 210. So, losing 11 pounds over the course of 75 days was actually pretty good. And I know some people are like, well, dang, you didn't lose more weight than that. But I actually toned up quite a bit. Like, if you look at me, I looked like I was still in the 200 range, but you could tell the composition of my body was a lot different. And I also started learning slowly but surely that it's not necessarily about what's on the scale. It's about how your body looks, how you feel, the clothes that you wear, so on and so forth. All of those things play a very important factor when it comes to your health journey. So was happy that I completed that. I was also in school full-time, working full-time. I was taking 3 classes at UCF for my specialist program, my specialist in ed leadership, which for those who don't know what a specialist is kind of that in-between point between a master's and a doctoral degree. So I was doing that. And the fact that I was able to do 75 hard and that, and I'm going to get into what happened next, was a pretty freaking big deal. But anyways, fast forward to April. April comes, and I'm going to kind of piggy back and forth with a few things in a second. But April gets here. It's my 31st birthday. My 30th birthday was kind of uneventful, but my 31st was very eventful. We had a concert that weekend, right? Another concert at Grumpy's Underground, which I think this had to have been our largest concert attendance-wise. I think we had at least a good, I want to say, close to, 50, 60 people. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but considering that a lot of this stuff that we're doing on our own. And in part 2, I'm kind of going to break down how our process works in terms of what we do. It was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It was a really, really big deal. And I can say nobody in Orlando was doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to come off as cocky or anything like that. But, hey, we're innovators. We're innovative, So we had a concert that weekend. It was also the Skate World Series. Shout out to EVC Elite Vibes crew for putting this on. Just basically had a whole bunch of dope skaters come from different places in the U.S. here to Orlando to kind of just jam out and party. The Skate World Series was from, I don't remember the dates, but I know it was the second week of April. And it was from, I think it was the 8th to the 13th, I think, something like that. I probably get my dates wrong, but it was that Wednesday to that Sunday. I went Wednesday and Thursday. I didn't go Friday because Friday was the night of our concert, and then I went Saturday and Sunday. In addition to that, on Sunday, I also got a chance to see some of my favorite hip-hop artists. Tadashi, Trip Lee, Lecrae. I mean, I was Andy Mineo. I was amped up to see the whole 116 crew. Shout out to y'all, Unashamed of the Gospel. And it was just freaking amazing. Like, you know, meeting them in person. I didn't get a chance to talk to them for too long, but just having a very short conversation with Lecrae. And Tadashi was even asking me the shirt that I was wearing. I have an IMG shirt that says for Innovators Music Group. I don't know if I've ever worn that to any of my Teachable Tuesday videos. I might have. I can't remember. I wear so many shirts. But he was asking me. He's like, oh, and I gave him my card. I said, you know, hey, you know, hit us up sometime. I really look up to y'all. And it was just having an interaction, being able to see these guys perform. It was freaking amazing. Like, I will say this. That concert had a lot of young people there. And I say young people, like, I mean, I'm still young, I'm 31. But, I mean, young people, like teenagers. Like, just to see young people really just out and bold for Christ, like, that was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It really put a huge smile on my face. And it's just amazing how much 116 has brought so many people together. I know sometimes there can be a bit of controversy, and, you know, there was a lot of things that happened within 116 that, you know, are, you know, unfortunately, we just got to pray for those brothers or those sisters or what have you not. But, you know, overall, they are really focused on really bringing the gospel of Christ to different people. And I love it, you know, and they do it in their own unique way. And I always tell people, if you want to save souls, you got to do it in an innovative way, because you got to understand, Yeshua was not a traditionalist when it came to doing that. He was a revolutionary figure. He abided by tradition, yes, but tradition was also broken in favor of the better good. And sometimes you got to realize that tradition, you have to look past tradition and look towards what works. Sometimes tradition ain't always the way. Some things is very good to be traditional about, but there are other things where you kind of got to break out that box. But that's a whole nother video for another day. But anyways, the weekend was so jam-packed, really, I had to take that Monday off of work because it was just, ooh. Oh, man, I needed that day. You know, my birthday weekend was lit. I ain't going to lie. That was probably the most eventful and fun birthday weekend I had in a long time, which, like I said, my 30th birthday was uneventful. So my 31st birthday more than made up for that. So anyways, fast forwarding some more. I started phase 1, which is the next phase of the Live Hard program. For the Live Hard program, you have 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, which I'll get into that in another video in more detail. But started phase 1, completed it, didn't fail. And I was really proud of myself, because by the time I got to May, I realized, dude, I did 75 hard, I did phase 1, and of course I was working and also in school full time. That's a freaking big deal. Like, you, man, I felt like I was on top of the world. You couldn't tell me crap. I was feeling good, looking good. Body-wise, as far as weight-wise, I had gotten down to about, what was I was saying, it was 198, 199, somewhere around there. 198, 199, something like that. So far, I had lost over 20 pounds for the year, because I started off at 221. So I'm feeling good, noticing I'm looking good, getting toned up, losing weight, like even to the point where I have my friends complimenting me saying, yo, you look good, man, you're losing weight. And I was like, appreciate it. And, you know, it's one thing when you look at yourself in the mirror every day and you're like, I don't really see anything. But when people start seeing it, it's like, okay. And, you know, that's one thing I always encourage people about their health journey. You're not going to always see the results right away. You got to keep putting in work. You know what I'm saying? The results ain't going to come in 1 month. It might not even come in 2 months. But you keep going at it, eventually you're going to see the results. I mean, I'm looking at myself now. I mean, even though low-key I did gain a few pounds. I gained about 4 pounds from being home for the holidays. And I didn't work out in a week as of recording this video. But I'm getting back on that today. You know what I'm saying? But I still feel good and accomplished for what I did this year. But we'll get into that in part 2. Anyways, so continue. My little sister came down. She visited me in May. It was the end of the school year. My second year teaching high school, second year? Yeah, my second year teaching high school. Taught a lot of kids that I taught in 7th grade at the middle school that's kind of down the street from the high school that I teach at currently. So that was really cool. Sorry, my phone was going dead, which means I gotta wrap this video up soon. So that was cool. You know what I'm saying? That was really, really dope. I think I had about 10 kids that I taught in 7th grade, and I taught those same 10 kids. I might have just had 10 kids that I taught in 7th grade, but 10 out of those kids I taught in 7th grade, I taught them last year as well. So it was amazing. They still come back and visit me from time to time. So, you know, I love it. They give me updates on how their junior year is going and whatnot. But that was a really, really great school year. It was a great way to end it. I got a marking as a highly effective teacher. So that was really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Because as we know, teaching is not easy. So it's really cool when you have people that are higher up than you recognize you and, you know, see that you're doing your best for these kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal because we don't teach for the money. We definitely don't teach for the money because we don't get paid enough. You feel me? We do it because we actually have a love for kids. We have a love for inspiring the next generation because that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So May came around with that. June, not really too much happened in June. Honestly, June was, I'm not gonna say it was uneventful, but June was pretty chill. I was just working for the most part. I worked Boys and Girls Club during the summer, and was just chilling, just stacking money, and you know, working out, relaxing, trying to come up with a game plan. I think I had one class that I was taking. I was originally taking 2, and I dropped one of them because it became a bit much. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just take one class and kind of just go from there. And I kind of wish I didn't do that because, well, we'll get into that shortly. That'll be for part 2. But I guess a couple of other things I should add before I wrap up my recap for 2022. Just also went around, I dated quite a bit, got to know people. Some things, of course, didn't work out. I think one of the biggest lessons I learned, and I was going to wait till part 2 to address this, but I guess I got to address this in part 1 because it'll kind of come together in part 2. One of the biggest lessons I learned in terms of dating is put your foot down for what you want. There are a lot of people on the dating scene that want different things. There are some people that want an actual relationship. There are people that just want to be friends with people. There are people that just want situationships. If there is something, and this is my message to anybody when it comes to dating, that I learned this year. If there's something that you want and the other person does not want that, you put your foot down and you let them know, well, hey, listen, I respect what you're saying and I appreciate the honesty, but I can't roll with that. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you don't want a relationship, you just want, I guess, a situationship, right? And let's say the woman doesn't want that. She wants an actual relationship. Don't just go along and drag her and think, oh, well, I'm going to just get what I want and kind of bounce. No, have enough decency to let her know, hey, I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate your interest in me, but I'm looking for something a little less than what you're looking for. So you might want to venture out to somebody who might be able to give you that. You know what I'm saying? Or if you are a man who wants a relationship with a woman and she just wants to be friends, you have that right to say, I'm not interested in being just friends. I want more. So because we're kind of on 2 different pages, we might just have to part separate ways because I want to respect your boundaries and how you feel because I'm hoping that you'll respect mine. I've told women that this year. Yeah, I've told women straight up, like when women will say, well, I just want to be friends, I would tell them, well, I have enough women friends, which I do. I have quite a few that I have no interest in whatsoever. I'm not going to be friends with a woman that I have interest for, knowing that she probably has interest in somebody else, and give myself that false sense of reality, because guys will typically do that. They'll wait in the bushes knowing that they like you for their chance. I ain't doing that, you know. But that's one of the biggest lessons. I brought that up because, like I said, I dated a little bit this year, and, you know, it's one of those things where I'm trusting the process. What God got for me, he got for me. I just got to continue to work, elevate, make myself more competitive, like I always tell you guys. Keep increasing my value, and eventually it'll work out the way it's supposed to. I'll get the woman that I desire. But anyways, I brought that up because that's going to be kind of vital to what I have to talk about in part 2. But other than that, let's see. Did I miss anything for part 1? I think I covered pretty much everything. Performances, skating. We didn't really release any new music this year. We did drop a couple of music videos, which they're all on a link below that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I know we dropped, in the first part, we dropped The Innovators. It was a collection of songs, these 3 songs that we did. Why am I not thinking the name? I can't think of the name of the songs right now. Whatever. Anyways, they're also on our recent EP, Trap Called Trap Volume 1, which I'll drop that link below. So I'm doing a lot of shameless plugs today, y'all. So please make sure you check this out. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I have a lot of people that are checking out my channel that are not subscribed. Maybe you're not sure what this channel is about. But I just say, what are you waiting for? You know, some good stuff here. But anyways, that's it for part 1. This video is already 20 minutes. It's a little longer than my other videos. It wasn't as long as last year, though, so I think that's pretty good. But we're going to wrap it up today, and tomorrow we are going to be talking about part 2. So the things that happened between the months of July through this month, which honestly, it's a little bit more eventful. First year was a lot going on, but it was kind of chilled somewhat. Last half of the year was pretty eventful, to say the least. All right, anyways, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesday, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.